Happy birthday and rest in power to LGBTQ activist and communist Leslie Feinberg. I'm going to read a short segment from Trans Liberation Beyond Pink or Blue, where Leslie does an amazing job of showing the connections between the LGBTQ movements, the different segments that fall under that umbrella, and also the connection between the LGBTQ movement and the class struggle and other struggles. So check this out. What is the most effective strategy to forge a fight back movement today? Should we deny our relationship to each other based on relative differences and try to place an arm's distance between us? It sounds absurd. And yet there are some lesbians and gay men I know who fear that their winnable demands for legislative reforms or acceptance will be lost if they stand up for the rights of trans people. Let us win our demands first, they plead, and then your demands will be more easily won later on. That's a trickle-down theory of reform. But those of us who have been trickled on in the past are not impressed with that strategy. When a young social movement breaks down societal closet doors and floods into the streets, its leading activists suddenly begin to get advice from those in power who were never friendly before. These advisors urge leaders to send in their best dressed and most articulate spokespeople, code words for and middle to upper class, to negotiate for progressive legislation and other reforms. But they counsel, keep it to single, simple demand, and disassociate with those who are too angry and too militant. This is an old tactic. When I was a teenager involved in factory struggles in Buffalo, New York, management sent similar messages through emissaries to union activists. But it was divisive because the relationship of strength at the bargaining table is directly related to the relationship of forces on the picket lines outside. When we fought, enlisted demands together, kept each other's spirits high on the picket lines, and defended each other from attacks by cops and company goons, we frequently won. But when we allowed ourselves to be split along lines of oppression, we always lost. An injury to one is an injury to all. It's the truth of the union movement. It's the truth the union movement was built on. It's a solid bedrock to build a lesbian, gay, bisexual, and trans liberation movement on too. And it reminds us of our connection to others who are fighting for justice and equality. We are not just gay, lesbian, bi, or trans people. Our populations include many oppressed nationalities, people with AIDS, women, youth, elders, people who are unemployed, homeless, deaf, disabled, prisoners, people dependent on welfare, SSI, Medicaid, and Medicare. Today, we are witnessing a violent, bipartisan attack on all our standards of living. And Leslie goes on to say so many more incredible things. Please, if you get a chance, check this book out, Trans Liberation Beyond Pink or Blue. Rest in power and happy birthday to Leslie Feinberg.